You get Wario!
The olden days of Mario comics always take me on a trip anytime I try to rationalize just what is going on in them. Some of the plots make absolutely no sense, almost as if the artists finished the story and just lobbed plot holes like frisbees into the storyline. Wherever they landed, they just rolled with it. For those who watched my last comic video about Mario fighting against the monsters of the underworld, you know the benchmark of insanity I'm talking about. However, these comics always made me wonder about the collective world that they take place in. Obviously, there were no guidelines to follow, and it varied per country. Swinging back over to Germany, though, Club Nintendo brought about another perplexing question. Just how do the worlds of Mega Man and Mario fit together? Well, let's take a look. Before diving into this comic though, a big thank you to Cryomancer and PPA from OpenTrain for providing the editing, cleaning, and translation of these comics, so we can enjoy them today. For many of us, they were lost in time, nor would we ever be able to understand them. The comic we're going to take a look at is called Super Mario: The Transformation. Now this comic, just like pretty much all Club Nintendo comics, is completely bizarre. Mario wakes up from bed and starts to feel sick. He then freaks out once he realizes that he is becoming pixelated. He's essentially turning into a Mario sprite. Of course, Mario's dashing good looks are being compromised, and he certainly can't let Peach see him like this. He then calls the family doctor, Dr. Light. When Dr. Light became an everyday doctor, I have no idea. I could have sworn he had a PhD in robotics though. Anyways, to conceal his dashing good looks, Mario puts a box over his head so people can't see his pixelated state of affairs. He trips from running too fast, and then drops some knowledge that changes everything we know about Mario. I haven't ran this fast since Toadstool asked me to marry her. Wait a second, what's happening here? Are they already married now then? I mean, if they were engaged back then. It's so confusing. Club Nintendo, what are you doing? Anyways, Mega Man then answers the door and cracks a knee slapper on Mario. Although, this part makes almost no sense because he made this joke before realizing it was Mario. I suppose he could say this joke to a stranger who was wearing a bag over his head, but I'm surprised he doesn't take it as a sign of mischief, since the face is concealed. Anyways, Mega Man brings Mario inside, and immediately Dr. Light thinks he's one of his past cosmetic surgery patients, whom he specifies as being Link. It makes it sound like Link has come here complaining about the results before. I'd love to see the before and after photos for that. Mario then reveals it's actually him, and shows Dr. Light his pixelated dilemma. Of course, Dr. Light can't hear worth crap, consistently thinks Mario is saying other things, and then straps him to a chair once he realizes the problem. Not before calling Mario Link though. I suspect that Link must have undergone some extensive surgery and perhaps looks like Mario now? Youngtown was right, after all. Upon splitting Mario in two, Wario spawns beside him. Basically, Wario is the evil half of Mario. He claims he's evil like 3 times, and then breaks through the front door after destroying parts of the lab. His escape is super short-lived, and I mean short, like 1 panel. He's then thrown in the slammer within the lab, and Dr. Light goes to search for a way to restore Mario. Mega Man, who has had this overjoyous smile this entire comic, states he's going to go check on the doctor so he doesn't do anything stupid again. Dr. Light brings back a Super Famicom, and states that in order to restore Mario, Wario and him need to hit start simultaneously. Once this happens, they are restored. The comic ends once Dr. Light receives a phone call stating that Luigi has mysteriously turned black and white. This whole predicament is weird mainly because my mind immediately wants to know how this is the norm in this comic. Dr. Light has shifted his focus to plastic surgery. Mario and Peach are engaged, assuming Mario said yes, and somehow, Wario was created from within Mario. Is this a duplicate Wario? I mean, we have Wario's backstory in a separate comic. But Mega Man's inclusion doesn't stop there. Dr. Wily made an appearance as the primary villain in a longer series. He dressed up as a mailman and gave Mario a time-traveling alarm clock. While Mario was lost in time and traveling between different game worlds, Wily took over. Everyone seemed to be under his spell, even Peach. However, this apparently was all a dream. Even though it was a dream, Mario still recognized Dr. Wily right away, which means he's encountered him before. With multiple appearances of Dr. Light in the comics, this certainly makes sense. I really wish continuations of things like this still happen today. Obviously, we have some modern occurrences, like the Sonic and Mega Man crossover comics, and of course, Smash Bros. But I sort of miss the chaotic charm that some of these older comics had. I had access to Nintendo Power as a kid, but I never knew a lot of these other comics existed. When I got older, I felt like I stumbled into a different world, almost like an alternative childhood. It's truly been a pleasure going back and looking at all of them. But now that I've dumped on all of you, I'd of course love to hear your thoughts. What kind of crazy crossovers would you like to see in the future? Any games in particular? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever thought about giving YouTube a whirl yourself? Hang tight for just a second. For those who follow me on Twitter, you know I've been writing a book over the past year. When I'm not making YouTube videos, I'm surely writing away. This book is about YouTube, but more specifically, it's about being a YouTuber. When I started creating on YouTube, I wish I had some sort of guide to get me through all the hard parts. There were a lot of times where I actually just wanted to give up. And that's why I decided to write this book. It's a one-stop shop for everything about YouTube. Everything I know and learned about the platform. And it's for the next generation of content creators. The people who are starting tomorrow. It's for you. Yeah, you. The person watching this video. If you've ever been interested in creating, it's time to go after that dream. The book itself will be coming out in a month or two, but I wanted to let all of you know ahead of time. I hope it inspires you to pursue your creative passions. If you're interested and you want to find out more information, there's a link at the end of the video and in the description below. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this crazy comic recap. If you're looking for some other nostalgic content, there's plenty on this channel. Thanks for watching, guys and gals, and until my next video, cheers.